Yo, what's happening, people, and welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way. And if you're tuning in, this is our roundup of the weekend's fixtures. Um, we did another video this week, the top 10 worst Man United transfers since for Sir Alex Ferguson. So if you haven't seen that, go and check that out. It's a funny video, but we'll get straight into it here. And the first game of the weekend was Arsenal versus Palace.
Yeah.
Arsenal winning 5-0. Exactly what I wanted from the team. I didn't want it to be like a 2-1 or a 1-0 or like a tense last 10 minutes. It was exactly what I wanted. The team played well. First goal, Gabriel just
posterized
dunks
him.
on the defender, posterized him, buries it. And then obviously second one goes down as an own goal. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the game. It was a good game to be at. And one thing I did take away from the game is that, like, having not seen him for a couple of weeks, Zinchenko is
caviar, huh?
Zinchenko's technical level, is outrageous, man. Like the stuff that this guy does on the pitch, the way he operates, the positions. He played one pass to Trossard, which we actually won the corner from in the first half and then scored from.
Yeah.
Where he's like in his own half. Palace are playing fairly high, and he just wraps it through like four players for Trossard to run in behind.
These are like such good Zinchenko games for sure.
Yeah.
When a team when a team is like not trying to press us, but is playing more open at home, and he has the time and the space, and obviously the players around him. But no, I agree with you. I think this is one of the easiest games to analyze for Arsenal, just because everything sort of went to plan.
Yeah,
you know, we got the early goal. That was my one of my biggest worries. Is like, is this going to be one of those nervy, like 65th, 70th minute we still haven't scored, but we've had chances type of games.
Yep.
And big love to Gabriel. We all know as Arsenal fans, he's due a couple of goals a season.
Yeah.
Just on
what's that, high scoring defender in the league?
Since he's come.
Yeah.
Like, we just know that there's going to be games where he every time a ball is put into the box anywhere in his vicinity, like very few players are going to try harder than him to get their head on it.
In both boxes.
Exactly. And with that sort of love and dedication to winning the balls up top, I just think, it's bound to happen. And us Arsenal fans, we know, and I'm so happy for Gabriel because he deserves this game. He deserves a game where it's all about him, and he is the difference, and we can all sort of throw our love and applause on him, and as well as other fans can sort of see that we have a super serious defender in Gabriel and a super serious centre back partnership in Gabriel and Saliba.
Very serious.
And they mopped up all game. They kept it tidy. They kept it simple. Crystal Palace didn't really have that many chances. I love the fact that we got the set piece goals, and you can give Nick Yoba, the set piece coach, all of his love and praise. And then we got the open play goals. Like Trossard's finish was cold. Martinelli's two finishes were cold.
Yep. On the Trossard goal, there was a lot of, obviously because Arsenal didn't play for 2 weeks, there's been a lot of discourse about Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah.
A lot of unnecessary discourse, in my opinion. I sent you one tweet about someone saying, play Havertz in the 9, Jesus needs to earn his place. Like, everyone needs to earn their place, but Jesus has done that.
Yeah.
10 times over. Doing that. Yeah. So there's no doubt that when everyone's fully fit, Gabriel Jesus starts up top for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Maybe in a latter stage of a Champions League game, if Mikel wants to do the Havertz false 9, get Jesus out on the wing thing, fine. But in most games, Gabriel Jesus
will be there. I was going to say, and it would only ever be a 4-4-2.
And I know he didn't score, but I think he played well.
He did.
That what he does for Trossard's goal, he gets the ball from Raya, one touch, second touch out of his feet. He's already looked up twice.
Seen the pass.
He knows where Trossard is. The pass is perfect.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Klein slid at full stretch, can't get there, and Trossard's cut back and buried it. Yeah, and I thought Jesus played well.
I thought Jesus played well, and that is it's just winning football, man. Executing at the right time.
Yeah,
like seeing the whole picture and not dilly-dallying, not trying to run all the way down to the byline to then square it to Trossard. Like, no, if I play the ball now, Trossard can do what he wants with it.
Yep.
And, you know, Trossard is cold in those situations. He's one of the colder players we have in the club. And as soon as Trossard takes the first touch, you just know that he's burying it with the second. And big shout out to David Raya for the early release. He was getting mad love from Trossard. He was getting mad love from Arteta.
In possession, solid.
Yeah.
Clean sheet. I think you said you're happy about scoring the corners.
100.
The clean sheet was massive. I thought, like, let's stop these giving away silly goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
at home. Especially at home.
So yeah, shout out David Raya, and of course, he came off the bench. Gabriel Martinelli scored twice. Gary Lineker said he thought it was a replay because they were both very similar goals. But the guy right there, he's on the desk, man. He would have been on the desk before that, because if you watch the show, you know I gave him the best moment for the mid-season awards. But the fact that he went and scored 2 goals, man. I sat there. The stadium had started to filter out out of 3-0, a couple minutes left. But when he scored his first goal, that was the loudest cheer I probably gave all day. Yeah.
No,
because when he went through, I was just like, please.
Yeah.
Please.
And the finish is great.
And buried.
The finish is great.
Side netting and got up, started screaming. I was like, yeah, that's my guy.
A confidence booster.
And then the second one, straight like that. Shout out Jorginho. Jorginho, man.
Progressive
serious. Because Declan Rice is still in this phase of, like, I think there's times where he sees a forward pass. That is hesitant. That is like half on. Like two defenders are there, they can intercept it. The pass needs to be perfect, and he plays the safe pass. Which, when we're winning, brilliant, right? Because sometimes, as much as I love Thomas Partey, he'll still try and play that pass when we're winning, and it could cause a dirty counter attack. So sometimes it's good, but especially in that Palace game, I thought there were times where
he could give it.
And I can't wait for Thomas Partey to come back into this team. Man.
Rumours on Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. And Garner are out, so no controversy.
No,
he's coming back. It's not like he could have gone AFCON and played. But I think Odegaard's numbers will get better. I think Saka's numbers will get better. But Jorginho coming on and playing that brilliant pass for Martinelli.
First time as well.
Yeah, first touch sets him up perfectly, goes through, scores, and it was good for Martinelli to just kind of get that confidence back. But I want to talk a bit about Emile Smith-Rowe.
Okay.
Obviously came on as a sub. And for me personally, Smith-Rowe's best football for Arsenal has come playing off the left. Because that season when he got 10 and 10, he was playing from the left. And I think the transition is rightly so for him to play as that left 8 or whatever. But I think for him to play there, I think could also, if Smith-Rowe gets back to the level, Martinelli will really explode. Because the way that them two can connect, Smith-Rowe can go and play on the wing, Martinelli can come inside, be in more goal-scoring positions. Because a lot of the time this season, we've seen Martinelli hug the touchline. Because for the qualities that Havertz has, he's not going to go and hug the touchline so Martinelli can exchange. Havertz is going to try and be in the box to win the headers and whatever. If Smith-Rowe can get back to a level, the way that those two can combine could be like Odegaard and Saka.
No, I completely agree on that front. And, you know, you still do get chills and tingles when Smith-Rowe takes the ball on the half turn. You know, like it's literally war off a duck's back for him in that position. And I thought it was good to see him get more than 5 or 10 minutes at the end, to have a real 20-minute cameo. And he's literally just missing match sharpness. Like some of the touches and moments when the ball was fizzed into him, it's just like match sharpness. Like, you know, overthinking his next move. And
he's someone that you look at and you're like, we know you got it.
Exactly.
We know
we have the patience with him. We'll definitely have the patience with him. The fans love him, obviously. And, you know, I think as well, what I'm oddly very interested about in Smith-Rowe is that he's right-footed. Like, we have so many left-footed players.
I think that's another thing that kills Martinelli, is that Havertz is left-footed, but and
Zinchenko's left-footed when he's in that position as well.
And so they're always trying to look to play the pass out to the byline. Whereas if Martinelli's coming in this way, I think Smith-Rowe can just find Martinelli in more goal-scoring positions.
Yeah, and the problem with left-footed players is they're normally so heavily left-footed, heavily dominated on the left foot. So I think I agree that there could be more synergies in that sort of situation between Smith-Rowe and Martinelli. And I just hope he gets minutes. I hope he gets minutes in the Nottingham Forest game. And I hope he gets 20, 25 minutes as well.
Yeah.
I think Arteta said so many good things about him in training that he kind of needs to back it up with minutes, meaningful minutes in matches to actually see where we're at with this guy. Because you've signed Vieira, obviously you've signed Havertz. So everybody's kind of wondering where does he fit in with the plans, but everybody's hoping that there is a space for him. And as you say, we've seen him get 10 in 10 at a young age.
Yeah.
Obviously his injury records needs to be sorted out, but he's got to play games for us.
Yeah.
He's got to play games for us because he's got the number 10 on his back. First things first.
Yeah.
And he's an English talent with the ability. We talked about Man United, Yellow Brick Road. He kind of has that for us at Arsenal. Like, we want the best.
It's different when you come through the academy, though.
No, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, you're almost allowed to do it then.
Exactly.
Like, I wouldn't get onto Man United fans for laying the road out for Rashford.
No, but it's
even though they want to destroy the road now.
It's not even about getting on to him for laying out the road. As fans, that is what you do for homegrown players, guys that come through the academy. You want them to grow into the number 10 shirt and from start to bottom be the best player in the club. And I still think for sure that he has the ability to play for this Arsenal team. I think Arteta doesn't trust him that much defensively, but I think the only way we'll ever find out how good he can be, how many hard yards he can run is if you play him for football matches.
Yeah.
But and you can't complain, a 5-0 win at home.
Yeah.
It
was I mean business as it should be.
Yeah.
And Palace, a bit on Palace. Palace, I mean, I came away from the game like, yo, these lot are shit, man. Like
Roy might go. I don't know if Roy's
and
the
Palace away fans were not
unhappy,
man, putting up banners of like wasted talent on and off the pitch, like no direction and stuff. Yeah, I do think Roy's in trouble.
Palace will be safe in the sense of them; they're not going to go down, but I can see where the fans are coming from. They do have talented players. They do want to see not even maybe a style of football, but just some sort of attacking flair or some sort of something. Because a lot of the times, it's just a bland performance from Palace. And I think they see what's going on with Gary O'Neill and Iriola, and the clubs in and around them are not only winning games but playing some sort of attractive brand of football that you can get behind. Having somebody to shout about, like, we've got X player, we've got Y player who's scoring 10 goals, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And I think Palace, as a Premier League club, you're in your right to ask for that and demand that from the club.
I think you also look at something like, obviously, they've got the derby with Brighton and whatever, and Brighton have got De Zerbi, and all these guys have these like exciting
clubs are moving up, man.
Thomas
and you
Frank
got Roy Hodgson, who's not bad, but
Nuno's coming. Gary O'Neill's doing at Wolves, like. But one positive for Palace, I did come away from the game, and Eze
is a serious baller.
Serious.
He glides around.
Can't
pitch.
get the ball off him.
He glides around.
The nutmeg on Saka was nasty.
Guys are saying that there's shouts for Eze at the left 8 position at Arsenal. I think it would cost us an arm and a leg.
But again, like that's just. I think. How controversial do I want to be here? I think the best version of Smith-Rowe.
Yeah,
fuck it. It's hot takes in the intro. Yeah, I think the best version of Smith-Rowe is better than the best version of Eze.
That's not a crazy statement, but a lot of people will be gasping at that.
Will say I'm crazy
because of the recency bias. Yeah, like the season before last, Smith-Rowe was Eze. Breakout 10-10, as we're saying. And then obviously Eze did his thing last year.
But I think they're similar. Which is why I don't know if I would take Eze. And again, Eze, like, for everything the one thing that you can't do when you come to the Emirates, and I've seen all 3 Champions League teams do this when we've played them, is leave your fullback one-on-one with Saka and Martinelli. And Saka and Martinelli's numbers in the Champions League, I think Martinelli might be like close to the top in terms of GA, right? You just can't do that with our wingers.
But that's tactical.
And the one thing with Palace...
That's tactical from Roy.
Roy's not telling his wingers don't track.
No, but I think he's like,
because Schlupp on the other side was getting back to.
But that's what I'm saying. I think
as much as possible.
That's now like,
and Eze was doing it. But
if Eze's in the final third, we have no output. If Eze's locked up near Saka, but like now you're asking Eze, who's just come back from injury, to Mateta to hold up and Eze to run. He's running.
Yeah, but if Eze doesn't track.
You can't not track Saka.
Yeah, and Ben White goes.
You're asking a lot of. You're asking a lot of Tyreek Mitchell,
bro. Your wingers, if you come to the Emirates, your wingers have to track.
It's true. No, it's true.
But to be fair, maybe not that this is right or whatever, but maybe because he's at Palace, he is the guy.
I
So
do
maybe
think,
if he
though,
came
that
to an Arsenal, it'd be different.
I do think that Eze's and Smith-Rowe's ceilings are very close, though. Like, I can see Eze actualizing his ceiling more than Smith-Rowe at this current point, just because. I mean, Eze is, it's not like he's not injury prone.
I would
It's
agree
not-
with that. I would agree with that.
It's not that Eze is not injury prone or whatever. But
He's gonna get more minutes.
He's gonna get more minutes. I think there is a bit more physicality to him. I think he can easily play the 8 and the 10, whereas I think Smith-Rowe's got to learn a lot to do with the 8, and I think he was more naturally a 10. But I do agree that the best version of Smith-Rowe would be right there.
Yeah. We'll move on to Ivan Toney's return for Brentford as they beat Nottingham Forest 3-2. Toney scored a hat-trick. I did think Mopé scored the best goal in that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you make of Ivan Toney's return, man?
I mean, scripted. Like, you kind of knew he was going to score in his
debut,
but his return, I did think it was going to be a penalty and not a free kick. I thought the free kick was cold. And as I was just telling you off air, I just think it's like a whole new life that's been blown into Brentford because they have a focal man. Brentford's style of football has been engineered to have a focal man up top who is going to be the danger man for them. And it wasn't quite the same when it was Wissa and Mopé and before. Like, they had no one of
it was
quality.
working with Mbeumo.
It was working with Mbeumo and Wissa
Mbeumo
to a certain extent because Mbeumo has the quality to make up.
Yeah.
But yeah, once, and to be fair, Jensen has also come back who needs his praise. But it's just so clear to see that when Brentford are trying to engineer these chances, when they're engineering them for Toney, there are like 10x a better side and like 10x more dangerous and 10x more lethal. And he played a great all-round game. He didn't just score a goal and do nothing. Like, he was honestly involved in
play.
Yeah, he was involved in every.
There was one where he was
game.
like on the touchline, defender on his back, holds him off, brings it down, plays it down the line.
Yeah,
the ball comes in for Mopé. Like,
I saw him winning like defensive headers. Like, Brentford give away a foul and they're all lined up at the edge of the box, and Toney's getting his head on it. To head it clear. Like, he's proper serious. And fair play to Brentford. I was just telling you as well. When's the last time Brentford scored 3 goals? In a match. Like there is a direct correlation between Toney coming back and Brentford scoring 3 goals in the game. So happy for them to get the points because I do think that they have been poor this season, but not through their own fault always. I think they've suffered a lot of injuries, and then their defense has just been a lot more leaky than before. But I don't think they're a bad enough team to go down or
no, they won't, especially not with Toney back now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely for Toney to have been out for that long and come back and play 90 minutes and play that well.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think he'd be match fit, so I didn't think he was gonna start.
I was so surprised he did 90.
Yeah. What do you make of all the commotion around his return and Brentford doing everything? Because to be honest, I love Ivan Toney. I want Ivan Toney at Arsenal. Yeah, I think he is the only striker that Arsenal should seriously go on by. Because I think he could. I said before, I think Ivan Toney's the difference.
Yeah.
Between really like making that final step. But the way he's treating Brentford, if I was a Brentford fan, I would.
It's crazy.
Like,
one interview was enough.
Yeah,
we get it.
Yeah, now it's
you've said it all.
He said it to Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
Now he keeps saying it.
I'm seeing Daily Mail's getting exclusives.
It's obvious I want to go to a top club.
Yeah.
I want to win trophies.
You don't even need to tell us you want to go to the top club. We know.
Yeah.
That when you score 20 goals or 18 goals, whatever
a top club's going to come.
That you wanted to, yeah, exactly.
And coupled with Brentford's Return of the King every 2 hours. Guess who's back? Toney's captain. Toney's back. Bro, the guy was banned for gambling. Now he's come back and he said he wants to leave, and Brentford are just pushing it.
Yeah, I think
like a WWE style announcement for it.
It's tough, isn't it? Because I think he did push the boat a bit too far with the whole "I want to play for a big club" thing before your return. Because Brentford have stuck by you.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're paying your wages or however that works, but they were sticking by you. Thomas Frank stuck by you all the way up until the actual very day that you got your suspension.
Yeah.
So I think he's cut a deal with Brentford, and he said, obviously, I'll be here to the end of the season. I'll keep you guys up. We'll stay ahead of things. And then when these big clubs come in for me in the summer, let's actually sit down and have a
Yeah,
conversation. So,
but you only need to say it once.
you only need to say it once. But I think for him, he got into his own head. Like, he thought it was a bigger story than it actually was amongst fans. Like, it was a big story.
Yeah,
Tony
yeah,
banned
yeah.
for 8 months.
Yeah.
But I think, like, in his mind, his agents and his trainer are like, they're all doubting you. No one said you're ever going to reach those levels. Like, no one was actually saying that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I can tell for the 8 months in the incubator, that's what he was telling himself. Like,
In the gym.
no one
yeah,
thinks I'm
getting
ever
fit,
going to make it back.
Yeah.
Oh, they think I'm washed. They think I'm finished. I'll show them. So that's for the last 8 months. That's all he's been thinking. So to an extent, I get it, because now he's finally free. Now he can finally speak, and he's been meaning to tell you what he's been thinking for the last 8 months. But, Tony, we get it. You want to play for a big club?
Yeah, I don't want to see another interview from now to the end of the season of him talking about how he wants to leave.
But then at the same time, do you even want him to score that many goals? Though, just every goal he scores is like another 2
Yeah,
mil.
but he's got 1 year left in the summer.
Oh, so he has the power.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, Brentford winning 3-2. Ivan Toney making his return. The next game was Shef U versus West Ham.
Yeah.
Which just had so much drama in that game. West Ham took the lead. Shef U equalised.
Ahead again.
Yeah, and then Shef U scored a pen in the last minute. McBurney rifled it home. 2 red cards in the game.
Yeah.
And it looked like West Ham were going to get the 3 points, and 3 points for West Ham there would have put them
Crucial.
like really close to
West Ham.
top 4.
West Ham are like points are vital for them because they're ahead of teams like Newcastle. They're ahead of teams like I think
Brighton,
Brighton at this time. So they can't afford to be dropping too many, because those teams want West Ham's place. They want 6th place or they want 5th place.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're overachieving expectations. I didn't think anybody expected West Ham to be there at this stage of the season, but they can't have too many of these like draws.
Yeah, if they want to,
and losses, because you have a real opportunity. The signing of Calvin Phillips, I think, I don't know who he is as a footballer anymore, but I think on paper it makes sense.
Phillips and Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, with Alvarez in there, you know.
Yeah, Paquetá.
Yeah,
Kudu's coming back early.
You know, they're like, you've got depth and options of players who have definitely a midfield ability, and I know for Moyes, just not losing or not completely being dominated in the midfield is a big part of his.
Yeah. I mean, Souček's almost undroppable in a minute.
Yeah. You know, philosophy. That's another guy you even forget is there. So I just think that they can't afford to lose too many of these games, or they can't afford to draw too many of these games, because I mean, Brighton always seem to draw, but all these other clubs, the Newcastles, the Uniteds, the Chelseas, are going to go on some runs, are going to go on some stretches of games, are going to win games that you don't necessarily think they're going to win. So you need to win the games that you're expected to win to finish above them, or to finish in that top 6 conversation.
Yeah. I agree. And it was a good point for Shef U as well. Because they actually played quite well in the game. They almost had the better of the chances. And yeah, at least now under Chris Wilder, they're showing a bit of fight. They're showing a bit of intent.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be enough, but yeah, I mean, at least they're showing it. And then there was the Liverpool Bournemouth game. Liverpool winning 4-0, 0-0 at half time. Might have looked a bit sticky, but Liverpool came out and just got the job done, man. Diego Jota got 2 goals, got an assist. 2 goals for Nunes. And yeah, I mean, the defense looked solid. There was no Trent.
Yeah.
They had that Connor Bradley playing, Joe Gomez at left back. I mean, I looked at the Liverpool midfield, McAllister, Jones, and Elliott.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I was like, yeah, this should get munched.
I give Liverpool a lot of credit for still keeping this 5-point gap, because, you know, it just seems that Klopp is just throwing things together.
Yeah.
And still coming out with at a minimum 1 point, if not 3, more often than not. So he's developed some sort of mentality in the squad, and they've only still lost 1 game.
No Trent, no Salah, and they scored 4 goals.
Yeah. He's developed some mentality in the squad of like, we can still go out and beat anybody, even if our midfield is small and light and inexperienced and never played together before. And, you know, it seems like Konate's finally locked down partnership spot with VVD. For now. But I do give them a lot of credit, because we are all kind of waiting for them to drop off. We both still think Arsenal are going to finish ahead of Liverpool.
Yeah.
But it needs to start sometime. Like the dropping of points needs to start sometime.
Yeah, I mean, if Liverpool beat us next weekend, I don't think we'll finish above them.
And I agree. So some tricky. I mean, they got Chelsea, to be fair, and then us. So these are huge 6 points for them, and where they come out of those, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm even if they beat us though at the Emirates, I still don't think they'll win the title.
No, it would be one of the more impressive title runs, unlike under the radar, just to get it done. And like, I know Salah's been good, but he's still not been his best even.
Yeah.
Like, it would
Haaland's back in training.
Yeah.
De Bruyne's had this time to get more.
Robbo's
more
been out
fit.
for God knows how long. Thiago's not played a single minute.
Yeah.
It would be crazy for them to win the title.
Salah's doing his rehab, but he might go back to Africa. But yeah, I mean, like you say, impressive from Liverpool to keep the 5-point gap. Like that's all you can do is just win the games in front of you, and they're doing that at the minute. And then lastly, Monday's game, Brighton versus Wolves.
Yeah, just a 0-0.
Which was a 0-0. Just
nothing in it.
Just to be fair, I wouldn't say it was a dry game because they're two pretty like fun teams to watch.
They are.
And it was just your Wolves counter-attacking threat is one of the best.
That turn you sent me of Cunha on that.
Ridiculous, man. Like he's like spun it with his thigh around the defender.
Yeah, that he's on the touchline. Yeah, there's not even space to turn that way.
Breezes past to his thumb.
There's actually not even space to turn that way.
And then why do we compare him to Gabriel Jesus?
Yeah, the final ball.
Yeah.
The final. But he, as I said, he's one of the more frustrating and enjoyable players to watch because his dribbling ability is like second to none.
Yeah.
Like he can get past anybody as if they don't exist.
Yep.
And then as soon as you need that final pass, goal, shot.
It's like the R9 comp that goes around. Of him just like breezing past players. But obviously because Brighton like commits so many men forward. Like Estupinian's basically a second left winger. And everyone's just like on this, and it's literally just the two centre backs and Billy Gilmore, who's played well, Billy Gilmore, but he's not an athlete.
Yeah.
And then the ball breaks. Cunha, Neto, Sarabia, Nouri, it's just flooding forward, creating overloads. And between Neto and Cunha, as a counter-attacking threat, is top. It's top.
Trouble. Those boys can motor.
They've got Man United next at Molineux. So for the Wolves fans, come on, Wolves.
I think Wolves actually they don't give it up easy at home. I don't think that's going to be an easy game for United at all. But I still sympathise with De Zerbi. Like I think he was still talking about it post-match. Like, not in the sense of he was whining about the injuries, but he was just like, I have to make do with what I have.
He said the aim is to finish 10th. He said that's the aim.
And he kind of does have to make do with what he has. He lost a lot of pivotal people for long stints, Solly March. And
James Milner's playing every week now.
Yeah, and Ciso, I had in my beginning fantasy team who I thought was going to be like a rising star in this league. Just tore his ACL match week 2, 3, and has been out ever since.
Estupinian's just come back.
Everybody's dealing with injuries, but him in particular, for the style of football that he's playing with those players, like if he's missing a piece, it's the difference between being the 6th best team or being the 10th best team.
And in terms of obviously Brighton, like you say, Brighton seem to draw a lot of games, but in terms of the football that they actually play, it doesn't change.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like even though the personnel,
as you're saying,
like it's a lower quality.
Yeah,
right. Because obviously the personnel's had to change, and he's got second and third choice players in some of those positions.
Yeah,
but the style, the football, they still leave the two centre backs on the halfway line. Everyone else is forward.
Yeah.
Pascal Gross is still doing his thing.
No, I got a lot of respect. I got a lot of love for the commitment to a style of play, for a commitment of just like, when the players get back, we'll climb up the table.
Yep.
We're still balancing this Europe thing as well. But they do need to turn these draws into wins.
They do. Yeah. At some point, they need to start making it count.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is all the fixtures for this week. Obviously FA Cup this weekend.
Yeah.
Tottenham Man City on Friday night. That one, yeah. Looking forward to that. I think that'll be a good one. Man City still haven't won at that stadium. Still haven't even scored a goal. Rodri hasn't lost in 50 games. Haaland's back in training.
Immovable objects and unstoppable forces, or whatever that expression.
We'll see. James Maddison's back.
Yeah, I see in full training.
That's going to be a good game. And one game which you need to make sure you watch on Sunday. The Black Country Derby, West Brom versus Wolves.
Yeah, I saw. My friend was telling me about that in the office.
Yeah, 11:45 on Sunday, because they do not want those fans getting on the piss and getting drunk before the game. So they whacked it at 11:40, not even a half 12.
11:45 is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's those are like, it's such an English way to try and avoid.
Some fights.
Yeah,
so like get straight out of bed.
Well, if you're pissed at 11:45. Your problem.
Yeah.
You're like it's so clear.
And we'll spot you like a sore thumb. But
You're a degenerate.
They haven't played that derby in a while, I think.
Yeah.
And it's at West Brom. West Brom obviously did decent in the Championship.
Well,
that's fiery, that one. Because you know in the Midlands they've got like Wolves versus Villa's a derby.
Yeah, Leicester and all these guys trying to make something.
But the actual derby is Birmingham Villa, Wolves West Brom, Leicester Coventry, or Leicester Nottingham Forest. But yeah, this is a proper derby. So I'll make sure I'll be watching that one on Sunday, and hopefully I will be supporting Wolves.
11:45.
I will be supporting Wolves, man.
11:45 is hilarious.
They couldn't even do a 12:30. I've never seen a Sunday game at 11:45. Not even in the FA Cup. They don't even usually do that.
You still got crust in your eyes.
Bro, you wake up and you go straight to the game. You can't go to the pub. You can't have a drink at home before you go. You just have to go straight to the game, and no alcohol. That's what the police want. That's what they want.
And people find an excuse to be pissed. I mean, Derby, they don't give a bigger excuse than that.
Bro, they haven't played this Derby, so it's gonna be carnage. It's gonna be carnage. But yeah, that'll be a good one. I'm looking forward to that one this weekend.
Oh, that's fun.
Other than that, I don't think the other fixtures are that. Chelsea play Villa, which could be decent. But Man United go to Newport. Yeah, League 2 Newport.
There's nothing happening in that game. It's gonna be an annoying. That's Hoyland gets you. There's gonna be some sort of like Hoyland brace.
Yeah, Bruno.
Yeah, some sort of PR thing that they can clamor onto. And McTom will be back. Good.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. If you wanted to hear our MVPs and Rookies of the Week, check out the top 10 worst Man United transfers we've done now over there. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. If you're watching on Spotify, follow us. And if you're not following us on Instagram and TikTok and the social media pages, follow us on there.
Yes, sir.
We're going to keep providing the content. Obviously, no fixtures next weekend, but we'll still be here. We'll do something. We'll find something to talk about. Who knows? It might be Newport beating Man United.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see. But thank you guys for listening.
Definitely.
And peace.